Good evening, everybody. How you guys doing? David? All right, see and hear me? Good. All right, Tim, Wendell, Patricia is here. Dan, Jeff. All right, let's get going. We got a good show on resets. It's a quiz. I want to see you guys how you guys do today based on what we covered last week. So let's get started. Nothing presented in this webinar, video presentation, vocally, visually is to be taken as trading advice. All content of the video presentation is for educational purposes only. You know, trading involves risks, so do use discretionary funds when trading. And that's CFT 04.41. All right, quick peek at the news today. All right, we did have a very big news, actually a couple of them, right? We had minimum bid rate, ECB, and unemployment claims. Okay, tomorrow is the big one of them all. We got non-farm tomorrow. All right, and also obviously CAD, and this manufacturing production is not going to be that much, but take a look at some of the pairs. They're sitting in peak formation high. They do that very often for non-farm. They hold the high because that's where they're collecting contracts, right? Level 3 of peaks is when the market makers are all in. They don't want to get in the middle of the run. They want to get in at the high of the structure or at the low of the structure. And that is their job, okay? Take a peek at the harmonics. All right. So this harmonic pulled off from the high approximately from this pin bar down here is approximately 50 pips. Let us see on the 15-minute chart if there was in fact a pattern, and there was. So if you see, all right, so the harmonic started here. Well, nothing there, right? Close below 13. Okay, so you got close below 13 back. So it's very ugly. I wouldn't even consider this an M. If it's half a bat, got to take it out from here. The distance from here to the high is more than 10 pips. Okay, so this is nothing. It could do a second leg half a bat in here and then roll. Okay, but it's a little late. We know tomorrow non-farm. So that's where we are at right now. Okay, if you look at the 4, little stutter, peaks to the high, close below, back above. Now if it comes back and gives you a 12 setup where the little M over here on the 15 minutes, that would be nicer. Okay. Okay. And you can also see the market baseline, the yellow line is actually sitting in the overbought level. Okay. Rarely does it do it. It comes close but not cross. Comes close but not cross. Okay, here we go. GJ. Now we have this GJ on the 4-hour, a big fat level 2. I know 52 cross back to the downside, upside, downside. But anyway, as long as it hasn't taken out the peak, we're kind of sort of in that range, even though the bias, if it's the 5200 cross to the downside, is more short than long. All right, they fired a harmonic in here. I'm going to see, let's see the 1 hour first, if there is a pattern. Okay, you can see first leg closed above the 13. They tried to do half a bat, never really took out the apex, came back down. Second leg is more than the first leg. What do I mean by that? There's more than 4 candles below it. Okay, you have 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the 5th candle. See? 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the 5th candle. All right. Now some of you may have taken it because you said, well, there's a lot of divergence, which is true. You got one leg out of the band, one leg in the band, right? The entry is there, but it's too close. So what do? You wait for your next option. Your next option is what? Okay, something to do with the bounce of the water. So let's presume you took the first one over here. Okay, like thinking it's a 50-50 bounce. It went up, few pips, closed below, no big deal, -5, no big deal. All right, it rolled over again, take it again, which some of you guys did today, and you guys got rewarded tremendously. Boom. Okay. Now let's presume you didn't take it from there and you waited for the pullback. Okay, big candle, 50% pullback, right there. Stop got to be below this, and it never closed below 13. You got your pips. Okay. Now the other way to look at it is, I'm coming off this move here. 4 hours, the harmonic. I do have a level 2 long, potentially, right? Still ugly. All right. If you look at the 15, and if you didn't like this anchor move, I know some of you guys grabbed it. Okay, your best bet was over here when they kind of cleared to this clutter with this move right there. Where you got a nice angular separation coming out of there for a nice 50, 40 pip move. If you didn't like that one, here's your best move. Clean, clear, right? Some of you guys are like, well, that's an ID 50. Okay. Some of you guys will say, well, no, that's a Asian induced big Asian box, right? Comes back in, hits the 50%, rolls over either there or there. Okay, this is a very small candle, not a shift candle. That's a nice candle. That's a shift candle. 30 pips, a third pullback, boom, straight up. All right, then what do they follow up that with? The next move, the AR00. They induced out of this box, this high, induced long, came back to the 00 line, nailed it. Price sign got to be above the signal line. And then boom, straight up, 30 pips. It's easy. Okay? Use the harmonics to identify your anchor formation. I said that before. We'll cover a lot of this later on. Okay? Harmonics for the anchor. Same thing. Look at this one. Okay? Okay, maybe not. This one, sorry. I got this one on, so I got to... Okay, look at that one. Here the harmonic, right? So if I go down to the 15-minute chart, that should be my anchor formation. Nice. Okay, half a bat with a second leg, half a bat, right? And here's my move, an ID move. Okay, ID safety. 40 pips. If you took the first one, you took a little scratch, and then comes back and gives you a second one. Okay? Same move. That's all they got. All right. GA. GA was nice, coming off of level 3. All right. They hit the stop over there, the quarter point over here. Beautiful W. Okay. So let us see if there was a set. So I'm looking at the anchor formation, and let's see if I can grab the anchor or not. If I can't, then I'll be looking for my ID move. Okay. All right, so here's my harmonic. Ugly. Okay, I'm just going to put it over there. Here's my harmonic move. Then finally I get a 1350 cross. It uncrosses, it comes back down. Okay, it looks really ugly in here. The 13 comes back below the 50, that's the pass, right? But I'm still aware that this ID move is very ugly. Right, I'm aware of it. So the next move I look for is an AR move, right? So if this one doesn't look nice, I'm looking for my next move. Okay, they induce out of the box. I'm waiting for them to come back in. So take a look, right? You're like, okay, that one didn't touch the water. So this could be an AR00, but it got to touch the water. So this one did, but it didn't close properly. I'm waiting for it to close above here, right? It didn't close properly, so I won't take that trade. This one is an AR00 move, okay? No dice. Comes back, now it gives you an AR50. Okay, AR50. So usually the AR50 comes before the AR00. So usually you get an AR50 and then the next one will be the AR00 where they'll come in and hit it from the top. All right, so the AR50 comes usually before the AR00. So this one roll, I wait for it to close above, and then I'll be excited to enter the trade from here going long. Okay. That's how I would use these harmonics. Now we know. Okay, not only grabbing the reversal, the anchor piece, but also knowing what's coming next. That's the key piece. All right. I mean, man, I would love to know what's coming tomorrow. Okay, and this methodology, the BTMM, allows you, the structure allows you to know what's coming next, which is very powerful. Okay, there's another harmonic in here, but it's still active, and this one failed. They do fail sometimes. Don't be like, oh, it's gospel. All right, these will fail. Okay, that's why they are a suggestion. All right, it's not written in stone. Okay, don't be like, oh, the harmonic, so it has to work. It doesn't have to work. This one is a trend harmonic. That means I'm level 2 looking for shorts. It's in line with the trend. This is just, man, look at this one, right? Let's blow it up. Whoops. Not that one. Look at this one. Level 2 moving to level 3. Okay? Even if you didn't look at it, 5200 cross, that's an M of the Mayo, right? That's one leg. That's my second leg. M of the Mayo short. Right? I know we complicate stuff, and we love to complicate stuff, thinking it's because it's complicated is good. No, simple is good. Simple is good. So if I'm looking for an entry here, take a look. All right, so let me shrink it down first. Find the spot. It's right in here. Now look, it looks a little confusing up here, right? But notice, look at the shift candle, man. No wicks. Boom. They shift with the harmonic. I know some of you guys grabbed this. I think Avis grabbed this trade. You take the short from there. All right. Notice it never. It had to close above the 13, but okay. Look at the angle. Okay. Straight drop. Then what do? They drop, drop, drop. They come back. They induce breakout traders, and also that's the first pullback. You short again. Right? Okay, so you're like, okay, I'm going to target somewhere in here. You easily hit your 30 pips. Right? I told you, right? Normally they'll hit the 50 first. They'll induce beyond the hit it and they roll again. Okay? They did a lot of the AR moves. See, like this one, that's another AR. They induce, they come back, they hit the 50, they roll. They induce, they come back, they hit the 50, they roll. And so on and so forth. Constantly inducing, hitting the stops, and then rolling. All right? If you know how to trade those, you can see them coming. They induce me. I'm waiting for them to either hit the 50 or the 00. That's all they got. Anything at an inducement, even within the pip, because they use the spread, they'll come all the way down here, big red candle, people go short in here. And then they whip it around. Then people are like, oh, it's going long. It's a W formation. It is. They'll let you be profit for a few pips, and then they'll roll back over like that. Okay? It's pretty awesome. These are trend ones. They're really, really nice. All right, I think that's about it, right? In harmonics, it's GJ. We saw that. Going long. Yeah, I think that's about it. See, this one failed. The GU one failed. It threw a big thing over here. I'm thinking it's going to come up here, hit the water, roll over and drop, but it didn't. It just went sideways and then rolled over and dropped. And that sometimes will happen. I call those failed harmonics. Okay. All right. Let's look at the levels. Now understand, usually during non-farm week, the market tends to be a little crazy. All right, a lot of collecting of contracts and moving up and down and things like that. So look at this one, right? They came in here, they did almost like a head and shoulder-ish looking structure. They came down to give a nice bounce because we thought this was reset. That's your 1 hour 50-50 bounce, right? All right, and then followed by another move, and then another move down here, and then they came back to the high, and then started dropping again. Now, you're like, well, what? The reason it was level 1 into a level 2 back up here because this one hit the stop above this high and they rolled back here with a 5200 cross. I kind of marked it as level 1 back short. Okay? Look at the 4. That's my 4. I got a 5200 nice angle of separation short. Okay? They're just consolidating in this level. Going short, but consolidating. So this is my 4 hour 50-50 bounce. And then they hit it again with 2 pins. Okay? They hit with the first pin, never closed below 13, hit with the second pin. That's your lopsided, crooked M of the Mayo. Alright? So I'm still in a downtrend. That's why this looks like a big reset, ugly. So normally I'm not going to engage shorts in here. I'm literally going to wait for them to break to the downside, then engage shorts. So I like engaging shorts in here. I don't like engaging shorts in here, because then I got to cross to the 200, I got to cross to the 50, I got to break to the 13. There's too much drama. Over here, I just have to worry about where the next trap zone is. Okay? So today, I'm looking for shorts. There was nothing there. Okay, I don't want to engage up here. EJ. EJ was very nice. We called it a reset over here. Okay, a lot of you guys did take this trade. So did I. The entry was right there going long. Okay, they hit it. This is the day tracer, right? Being at the day, so the false move is usually going to come away from the direction they want to go. So they're going to go this way first. They closed above. Now, this is early. Okay, if you did take this trade long, which is fine if you did, not a problem. Here's your 1/3 pullback, correct? So you're going to have a position in here. The minute close below the 13 minus 2 pips, you're going to kill that trade. Okay? Let's say it's over. Trap below. You're waiting for it to roll back over again. All right? So over here, your RSI line, signal line would have crossed on the hard right edge. Okay? Took a 2 pip scratch, and then this candle is 13 to 15 pips, right? 12 to 15 pips normally, 13 pips long. Look at the beauty. After that, look at that bounce trade over here. Okay? They come back. You can see them, induced breakout traders. I'm in level 1. I know I'm in level 1, right? Induced breakout traders. This one doesn't hit. This one hits. It rolls, closed above the 13. You can see it closed above 13. Yeah, there's a pin to the high. They do that on purpose. Your next move is here. I know this was news too. You may have passed. This is ECB, and that's why a lot of people pass this move, but this was absolutely a classic. Here's your WF3 Mayo. This is the ID50, right? 1350 cross. First pull back to the water after the 1350 cross. Okay, it's beautiful. All right, so now I'm in level 2, pushing above it. We'll see what happens later. Okay, so that was first one trade. Okay, EJ was trade number 1. I'm going to write it down so we can see how many trades there were. All right, the next one is EC. Now EC is almost the same, right? It looked like a big level 3 peak kind of a formation. Okay, if you look at EC, I had it at level 2 over here. What was I really expecting? I was expecting them to come down, hit the stop low, and then rise. All right, because I have a 1350 cross and a 5200 cross, and I still haven't had my 4-hour 50-50 bounce. Bias is long, don't get me wrong, but I'm expecting them to hit the stop low and rise. So that's why I don't like these resets off the water. It's very hard to see because, you know, they look like a big peak and then they start rising and you're like, they did a reset of the water. So I didn't see that. But let's presume you saw it. You're like, that's the reset of the water. I'm going to look for reason to go long. Okay? Okay, so here's your move. All right? So today you're expecting what? Level 1 reset safety, a visible stop hunt, which they did. First leg, close above the 13, back below. Second leg, beautiful shift candle, no wicks. One leg out of the band, one leg in the band. Okay, here's your entry long. Visible stop hunt, that's all you need. All right, not my typical W because the pullback has to be 25 to 50 pips, and that's why I let this one go. Okay, but if you did see it, that would be your entry right there going long, right? Easy. Okay. Your Aussie. Okay, so your Aussie looked like the same thing. It looked like a big peak coming to the downside. If you look at 4-hour chart, I was expecting them to come down, hit the stop low, and rise. We knew it was coming off a level 3. I just, again, don't like this resets in the middle of nowhere, right? I expect it to hit the water and then bounce, okay? So that means this is your reset move, okay? So let's see if there's a setup going long if you knew that was the reset, okay? If you did, and I know some of you guys did take this trade, by the way, okay? This is your anchor formation, 1350 cross. This one didn't touch the water, this one did. Okay, this became your ID safety. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, no visible stop hunt though. So your entry would have been an ID safety, 70 pips, followed by what? Then use breakout traders. They came back to the 50 and the 00 line, and they trapped off the static. That is a AR00, one candle, 45 pips. Okay, I stopped counting how many trades we already have. EC, I know there were setups. EA, I know there were setups. Okay, so this was nice. How do I know these are coming? It's because I know the structure. I know the anchor. My first move is an ID move, ID 50, ID safety. My second move is an AR move. My third move, I should say. All right? I know they're coming. They usually come in that sequence. They come in that order. Okay? You're in New Zealand. This is absolutely a disaster. Look at this. It hasn't touched the 13 yet, so there's no reset. So it's constantly rising. All right? I know some of you guys are trying to short this. Stop it. Don't do it. Don't short it, man. I know you guys shorted over here. Okay, this one may have paid out, but it's too tight to the water. Okay? And then you try to short it again over here. Right? Because I'm in level 4. That's an M. Well, kind of sort of like a half a bat. All right? Distance from here is 20 pips. You probably wait for this shift candle, took it over here. It dropped approximately, let's see how many pips did it drop. About like 14, 15 pips, and then you took a minus 10, minus 11. You got to get out. This is called a trapping move. Once it comes and closes above either the 50 or the 13, you're out of the trade. So if I'm taking the short here, and the minute it closes back above here, I'm out of this trade right here. But when it rolls, it becomes a half a bat. Okay? Because I don't know how far this is going to come up. Once it does this trap, it could come up here. It can even do higher. Okay? Some of you guys try to take this short. Don't take that short, man. That's not a valid M. It's an advanced M, out of the band, in the band, but no close below the 13. There's no entry there. All right? If you took an early bird special, you got stopped out. Now I'm in the peak. Now you're like, okay, that's an M. Close below 13, I'm going to go short. That might actually have paid out 30 pips before the news. Okay? Close below 13, back above, back below. Notice, first leg, out of the band. I know. Second leg is here, but here is the one that closed below the 13, right? In the band. Short. Out of the band, in the band. That's what you're looking for. If it's out of the band, this is showing higher close. That's showing higher close. You simply ignore this one. It's not out of the band, short over here. That doesn't work. Don't go short over here. That's not going to work. You always got to get out of the band, in the band. Okay? The in the band showing you lower closes. Okay? Because if they show you like that, there is no lower close. That means potentially price can go higher. All right. So if you took that one, that kind of sort of worked, right? Because you're at the peak. GU. Interesting, right? I had a level 2 short. I was looking for a reason to go short there, right? So let's see. 15 minutes. I was expecting to come back, hit the stop high, roll over, and drop. Let's see. This is just pure ugliness, right? This is choppy, and then they hit it. News. Come back to hit it again. Give you half a bat. Too close at the end of the day. That's the pass. All right. Pure ugliness. There's nothing there. GJ. Now GJ, all right, GJ we're saying maybe that's a reset, level 1, level 2 short, all right, if you look at the 4-hour chart, okay, so you had the 50-200 pointing down, so nice angle of separation, so we were expecting it to go shorter, but you know, there was also harmonic telling you, hey, you know, we had the harmonic sitting in there saying that it could potentially go long, And sure enough, it did go long. All right, we talked about this trade before. If you took a little scratch, came back and took it again, you probably hit your target on that one. Okay, I was not looking at this trade at all. EJ was nice. GJ was a little dribbly over here. It's kind of sideways over here. Okay. GC. So GC, 4 hour. We've had this in level 2 for ages. Okay. The 50-200 has finally flipped back to the upside. The bias now is to the long side, right? It's always been to the long side, but now you can actually trade the long because of the 50-200 back to the upside. You can trade the long. If the 50-200 is to the downside into level 2, I don't like taking those longs. Okay, so back to the long side, little reset in here. They hit it once there, they hit it again. That's a 12 kind of a setup, and then they did a beautiful bounce in here. Okay, so this little move here was a harmonic with a 1-1, one leg out of the band, one leg in the band, and then that's the 4 hour harmonic, 1 hour. If you miss that move, you can miss the anchor formation. You can always take the 50-50 bounce, right? If you look at the 15-minute chart, this is actually very ugly down here. Okay, this would be your reset safety. 50-200 cross. They actually did hit it 3 times. It almost like a head and shoulders. They hit it again, they hit it again. So if you took it the first time, no big deal. If you took it from here to here, 20-something pips, stop goes to break even, they took you out, and then when you roll back over, you take it again. Boom, 60 pips. Easy. Okay, you could have seen where it didn't work was, see, here's my low, here's my lower low, right? Here's my low, here's my lower low, both out of the band. So that means there's no divergence. That means this one's not going to work yet. But when you get this one and this one, now this is a higher low and this is a higher low. That's nicer. Okay? Higher low reflected by a higher low. That means it's expected to go long. Lower low expected with lower low ideally is going to go short, but we know 50-200 crosses the upside, so we're looking for long, so we're not interested in that short. So we're simply waiting for them to go lower low, low and then higher low. Long. All right. And what do? They give you this, and then they came back in the US session, they gave it to you again. They hit the stop, give you a little half a bat off the male, sharp fin hold the male, and then they went long again over here. Okay, close above the 13, back below, back above. Little pull back to a 13-year male long, 30 pips. Very nice. GC was nice. GA was coming up this ugly looking, whatever the structure was, right? Looks like that now. Okay. This was much more uglier. This is very, very ugly, right? It comes up over here, there's no visible stop run, so this for me was a pass. Some of you may have taken this bounce straight up here higher. You saw this inducement, they came to hit the 50, right? You may have gone long in here. But then 8:30 news is coming out, so you probably would have killed this trade before that. So you probably wouldn't have even taken this trade because the 8:30 news is right in here. Okay? Did it ultimately work out after the 8:30 news or 10 o'clock news or whatever the news they had over here? Yeah, they hit the stop right to the 50, and then they rolled and they went long. But that was just ugly. Okay. GN. Okay, so GN, we were sitting right in this level 3, the high. We're looking for a reason to go short potentially. That's why level 3, they're not my favorite trading area. I know most of you like trading 3s. They're just not my favorite. Okay, so let's take a look at why that is. So here is my M. Close below 13, back above. Nice little divergence, right? So you got to have a cross, back up, back down. So somewhere in here, I've been looking for a reason to go short, which kind of lines up there, and then boom, that's your move, 50 pips, right? Notice the 13 is still above the 50, so you can't take an ID. So the only other way for them to do is to take this trade short is, because the 13 is above the 50, the only way is the second leg half a bat. That means I'll take out the nadir, which this one didn't do, so you can't take that short. And over here, it hit the stop above the high. That's valid. Okay, so that's the stop hunt. I know it's going short, but the market baseline is pointing downwards, telling me, hey, potentially. So if you've taken this shift candle and wait for the pullback and took a short, that's fine. That's 25 pips. Stop goes to break even. You killed it. All right, either you took a break even. Or once it's trapped, then I'm waiting for it to break back down and take out this low, this nadir, which never did. So there was no entry for short, and you couldn't have taken that long because that's not really a, it's just kind of, it's called a dribble, and you shouldn't take a bounce trade into level 3 like this. Okay, just riskier. That's all. GF. Now GF was the cleanest and the nicest of them all. Look. All right. I mean, literally, you can see like an M of the water, which should be an M of the male, right? You can see it. Look at the 15-minute chart. Okay, they hit it. They closed. They came back to hit it again. Visible stop hunt. And then it's like a quasi half a bat. Beautiful shift candle line. This could be in front of the news. But look at that RSI line below the signal line, below the market baseline. Shark fin hold the male. Boom, short. Okay. All right. Aussie dollar. Aussie was sitting in level 2. We're expecting it to come back to the high, hit the stop high, roll over, and drop. See, that's why I'm not a big fan of counter. Why is that? Here's the first leg. Here's the quarter point, 0.75. Close above the 13, back below, back above. Second leg, nearable pattern, railroad tracks, right? It's the counter. It's level 2. Short. Short's a better trade, not long. So if you took the short, again, if you managed it correctly, you'd have taken a small scratch, right? Trade management is key, right? So if I'm going to go long here, and drop my fib, here's my 1/3 pullback, right? So if I took it over here and it closed over here, I killed the trade, -1. It's no big deal, okay? But it's the cost of doing business, all right? So this is, there was nothing there. I was waiting for it to hit the stop high, roll over and drop, reset, 50-50 bounce, nothing happened. NU. Now, I know some of you guys have been dying to go long on NU, right? Nice move to the downside, close above the 13, back below, back above, second leg, railroad tracks, nameable pattern, RSI is above the signal line, above the market baseline, perfect. You decided, hey, I want to go long here, you drop the fib, 1/3 pullback is right there, you take the trade right there, close it below, you kill it, -5. Okay? These are level 3 trading, where you're trading even in a 1-hour pattern at the blue tracer, and sometimes they don't work. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. All right? You may have seen it the previous day. You're like, oh, that's my first leg, close above 13, back below, second leg, hammer. I'm going to go long. It drops. Okay? People like to fade the trend. The trend is to the downside, I want to go long. No, the better move is the trend is to the downside, I'm looking for shorts. I'm waiting for them to hit the stop high, give me an M&W off the male, short, and then followed by an ID. That's the preferred move, okay? So, and you any much of anything. Some ARs, okay? Okay, so they'll come in, they'll induce out of the Asian box, they'll hit the stop like this, induce breakout trader, they'll come and hit the stop, roll over and drop, and literally once they close below the 13, you short it, boom, like that, 30 pips. Okay, they do it again and again and again and again. All right, they did it over here. Induce, they come back, they hit it, they roll over. Okay, really didn't go anywhere, and then finally it does late, and you're not in front of the screen. You see, same thing. People were trying to short the high. Okay. It does look nice. Okay, it does look nice. Look at that. Induce, come back, second leg, hit the stop above the first leg. This is dropping. You're like, man, that's going to drop. I'm going to kill it. That's why I told you, don't take the trade if it's too close to the EMA. Wait for them to shift with a solid shift candle. A hammer is not a shift candle. Okay? A hammer is not a shift candle. Right? Second of all, this is a 7 pip candle. About 10 pips would be a nice shift candle. Right? So that's a candle size like that to the down, that would be nicer. It didn't do it. Close there, give you a little hammer, and then flip back to the upside. Okay? The previous day, they came to the high, they rattle around, they give you this little candle. That's not people will be like, well, that's an advanced stem, man. I'm going to go short. No, the advanced stem RSI is going to be below the signal line, below the market baseline, the yellow line, with a nice shift candle. That is not a nice shift candle. It's 5 pips. Okay? All right. So with these pairs, you simply wait for them to give you either a safety or a 1 hour 50-50, because they're just kind of trending right now. All right? Trying to fade it, you're going to get killed. Dollar Swiss, same thing. I'm in level 3. I'm looking for a reason to go short. Short's a better trade, right? I can tell you it looks absolutely terrible. Okay? Absolutely terrible. So some of you guys were like, well, but that's all news, 8:30 news. So you would have not done that. You could have taken, this is nice. Here's my Asian box. Induced breakout traders. Come back. Hit the 50, right? That's the 50 line. They hit the 50, AR 50. Hit the static. It rolls over. I'm going to wait for it to roll right there. R sign below the signal line. And then I'm going to measure. I'm like, okay. My stop is going to be probably up here, 10 pips. I'm going to measure from here to here is 10 pips. I'm going to take that trade, right? Wherever my stop is, that's how many pips I'm expecting it to run before it could potentially reverse. Okay, and of course it slices right through it. This was a beautiful trade. Okay, see, I told you, right? Anchor, 1350 cross, 50-50 bounce, followed by an AR move. ID AR, you know it's coming. Okay, sometimes it's clean, you can take it. Sometimes you're in front of the screen, you can take it. Sometimes it's not clean and you can't take it, but it's there. All right. Dollar yen. Dollar yen, also the same thing. It did a reset coming off of this move, so we're expecting it to go long. All right. Okay. It moved up. It's kind of level 1, really ugly in here. Some of you guys did grab this trade. Not my favorite. It's called a dribble bounce. It's just kind of going sideways and then it went long. That's not it. This is the nice move. They induced breakout traders out of the breakout, like not only breakout of the Asian box, but also breakout of this high of structure. The robot starts jumping in here. They bring them back to the 0-0 line. They hit it. And then let's presume you saw this first one. You're like, okay, cool. I see this move. RSI is above the signal line. Perfect. I measure this candle. It's about 9. Let's presume it's 10 pips. You decide to take that trade. You took it, but you stopped below. You took a scratch on it. Minus 5 pips. No big deal. It rolls over. It gives you a nicer shift candle, and you took it long from here. All right. From here to here, it's about 25 pips. That's what I'm going to go for. I know I would like to go there, which eventually it did, but take the 25, man. We went up 28. Okay? That's nice. It's an AR safety. It's an AR 50 with a second leg. It's called an AR safety. Okay? Euro pound. Euro pound is at the peak formation high. People looking for shorts. Sure, why not? I would look for shorts, right? Remember at the peak, can I trade to the peak? Yes, I can trade M&W off the male. So I can take the male back to the peak. Shoulder, head, shoulder. Nice little shift. If you missed that, some of you guys were looking for shorts, which is fine. All right? This is the blue tracer. I'm at the peak, close below 13, back up or back below. I'm going to short it. I measured the distance from here to here. It's only 7 pips. That's an M. So I don't have to wait for it to take out the nadir. I can take this trade on the 1/3 pullback short. Stop is tight, 9 pips. From here to here is tight, 10 pips. Perfect. I'm going to take it. Because now, you know, at least I have stop 9 pips, potential reversal area 9 pips. If I went 2 to 1, I should be looking for about 18 to 20 pips. And sure enough, from here to here is 20 pips. I would take that 20 pips and I would run. I got 2 to 1 risk reward. Okay, this is because I'm thinking it's peak. I'm going to short this move. Yes, 8:30 it came around and went back up, but that's not your problem. That's not, you don't have to worry about it. Your target was here. You hit it, 20 pips, 2 to 1 risk reward. You're done. You move on. Don't worry about it. Nope, that's not it. That's it. Okay. Let's see. Not yet, Connor. What do you mean when you say ID move or AR move? Yeah, you'd have to go and check the videos. It's a whole presentation I did. All right. All right. Would it not be safer to see the catch across the liquid 50 before getting in? Yes. But if it's a bounce trade, you don't need it. You just need RSI line above the signal line, above the static on the AR and IDs. All right, not necessarily above the market baseline. It could be too late. Okay. The AR and IDs you're asking me, right, Dan? I did a whole session on it in the DMR, so you have to go into the forum, find the video, then look at it. It tells you exactly based on rules how to take those trades and how it looks and what you're supposed to do with it. Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay. Let's take a look at some of the quiz. The quiz is great. It's based on stuff that you should already know. Okay, it's on levels. Okay, so let's get started. I got about 15-20 minutes. Perfect. So now I know it looks terrible, but the truth is you got to mark the levels. Tell me whether the potential reset and how it looks based on the levels. Okay, I'm going to give you guys 2 minutes because these are pretty extended. Okay, to mark the levels from one end to the other end, and let's move forward from there. All right, you guys ready? Okay. So here's my anchor, right? I got a nice half a bat coming off that high, right? I got a 1350 cross, so this is my level 1. Okay, moving into a level 2. Over here, I'm expecting it to, I got a 5200 cross, I'm expecting it to hit the male, but it doesn't. So I don't have a set. It comes down to a level 3 move. Now, this is one of those situations where they reset off the water. I hate it, but it does it. Okay, they don't have to do what I want to do. They're going to do what they're going to do. And then you see how this is level 3, how they come up a little bit, and then they come right back down around this area. That's your level 1. They kind of line up the level 1 with the level 3 on this side. So they kind of go up a little bit, induce, hang out, and then they shift it. And then now those guys are trading support resistance. I'm going to go long over here. They're like, oh, that's a big W anchor formation. Lights out into a 2. Okay, and then they punch through with 3. Okay, so there is one reset in here. So we got 1, 2, 3 drop, a water reset, which is what they've been doing a lot lately. 1. Notice the 1350 will cross slightly, and then they'll come back down, and then come back down, and then come back down. Okay, kind of awesome. All right, let's go to the next one. This was easy, right? Well, they should all be easy. Here's the next one. This is the gold chart, by the way. Gold. Okay. All right. So before I forget, next week, so this Sunday, Doug is gonna go, right? So next Sunday, I'm gonna go on the study group Sunday session. Next Thursday, so next week I'm going to be in Spain already, right? So next Thursday and Friday I'm going to do the pre-market from Spain. Now, next Thursday evening DMR session, I'm going to let you guys know whether I'm going to actually do it live, or if not, I'm going to have the video hung. So I'm just going to do it a couple of hours before, and then I'll have the videos hung, a little bit before 7 o'clock Eastern. Okay, I'm going to let you guys know whether it's going to be a live session or a pre-recorded session next week. Okay? All right. Okay. Check this out, right? So it comes up here. See, this is my anchor, right? 13th above the 50. You get an M off the male, right? So whatever down here before it crosses, that's my level 1 coming in here. Okay. So this is all kind of, the way if I draw it correctly, it's going to be something like that, right? Because it never really flows above the 13. This is all that stuff. And then the next move is over here. Why is that? Because it stayed below the 13. It crossed the 13 right in here. Okay, so that's my pullback. So that's my push 1, close above the 13. Push 2, close above the 13. Push 3. This is nothing. This is just a stutter, right? Push 3, close above 13. That becomes my first leg in here. Okay, so this is how I look at it. Move down, close above 13. Move down, close above 13. Close above 13. Okay. same thing. So M of the male, right? Look at this, the 1 hour chart. M of the male, what we got? 1350 cross, 50-50 bounce short. This is followed by an ID move in here. And the next move I'm looking for is an AR move, which they do over here, but it's not anything. It's not a tradable set. Then you got a new anchor formation. Okay? Followed by an ID move. Alright, end of the day, new anchor. Stop on high drop, which never did until here, which is late. I can see that because of the 13 EMA. 13 EMA, the 50 EMA on the water. So this is when they touch the water. Okay, and so on and so forth. Alright, so anything else after that, this is nothing here. Okay, that's an M&W of the male, late. And then I have an M&W of the male here. Here's an M&W of the male. And so on and so forth. Okay, next one. All right, this is a little bit tougher. Let's go. Okay. All right, so we know this is an anchor, right? 13 is below the 50 until here. 13 pops up. Now some of you guys will say this is level 1. Some of you guys will say this is level 1. Until 50-200 crosses. Then this, you're going to say this is level 2, which is fine. Either way you want to look at it. Okay, and then this is your level 3 with a reset in here. Okay, 50-200 cross. W of the male, one of the two legs got to hit the male. Level 1. This should line up with this level 3. Okay, and then you got another move up into a larger 2 move. It's kind of ugly. It should be actually pushed up a little bit, because you see how they come up to this high and then they push a little bit up, and then meanwhile come back all the way back down in this area. All right, so you can actually, because this is not very, there we go, like that. It includes all this little jagged stuff in here. Okay, 1, 2, it pushes up, see it above the 13. 3, okay, that's when it closed below 13. They punch through with the shift candle. Peak. Okay. 1, 2, 3, reset. 1, 2, 3, peak. 4. All right. If you notice where the resets come in, they normally come in right after the 50-200 cross, like right here. Right? Notice the previous one. Right? Theoretically, that'll be your reset, moving into down to the downside. And the first one, Okay, they never came back. That's why I'm doing the variation to the theme where they never come back to the male. Okay, so they just simply drop, 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 reset up the water, drop, drop, drop. Very hard to see, this one. Okay, that's done, right? We just did that. This is an easier one, kind of, sort of, right? All right. The reason I put this one here is one of two purposes. Notice the 1 hour chart, right? This is the 1 hour chart, right? But notice they gave you a peak, which was from before. So we saw that peak, right? Level 4. But what do? They came back down. They made it look like a reset long, right? They came in here, they hit the male. So that's my point. Like a W off the male. All right? They're wicked. They'll come back up, back to this high. It's a 4 hour big fat M structure. Okay? Then they'll come down, they'll stutter here, 1350 cross, and they'll bust through with a 5200 cross area, and then they'll even further down to the blueberry, like that. All right? All along the way, unless you have an AR move, right, which is right in here, right here, the AR move. Okay? You would have had no setup coming into this deal. No setup. Okay? But you can look at the 1 hour chart and you can see what's happening. You can see what's happening on the 15 minutes, but you have to stare at the 1 hour chart long enough to understand that's what's happening on the 15. Okay? And some days there will be no setup on this pair, which is fine. You have setup on other pairs. And besides, you're looking for 3 to 5 trades a week, right? So you don't have to get a trade every single day. Right? Some days you get 2. Like in the beginning of the week, the market was terrible. Okay? And then yesterday and today, the market was good. So if, let's say Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, the market's terrible, you took a couple of scratches, don't worry about it. Come back Thursday, trade your set. They are designed, the market makers are designed to get you frustrated. So you're going to do something good for a while and then they will turn it around and make sure that it doesn't work. And it's done by design. Okay, so that you start going down another course and you're going to spend time, and in the meantime you're losing money. So just stick with the course, stick with the material. You will have some scratches, but that's why the scratches are there for you to learn. Don't be like, oh, I'm going to take this trade 10 times until I make money. No. You take the trade once. Hey, man, it's an ID 50. I take it. Take a little scratch, 2-3 pips. Come back. ID safety. Boom. Take it again. Take another scratch, 2-3 pips. You're done with that set. That's it. You only got 2 legs on it. All right? That means it's doing something else that you've never seen before. Just let it go. Okay. All right. This is the last one. Okay. So instead of you marking it, I'm just going to show it to you how it actually it is. Now these are Asian boxes. I did this on purpose so that you guys can see the difference of looking at charts with the boxes and without the boxes. It looks a little, I don't know, it looks a little crazy, right? A lot of stuff going on. But look, so this is my lowest point, right? So it came down here. This is my anchor formation right in here. Okay, so this is it. Okay, mark it up to there. And you're like, well, why are you doing that? My box is over here. So what I normally will do is, if you extend this box out here, this box, all right? If you notice, every single box touches that box. So this box is going to touch this box right here. That means part of this box is inside this box, right? This is obviously in. This is definitely in. This is part of it is in here. This is in. This is all in. That's in. Notice this box. This box is the first box that is absolutely fully above this box. Totally. Like none of this box touches this box. That's your level 1. Okay? So this is your level 1, right? This is using boxes. That's my first level, first box that does not come in anywhere, bleeds into this box. All right? Then I have this box that's higher than this box, so this is level 2. This box does not bleed into this box. I'm just going to mark it like that. It should be a little bit higher. Okay, so let me redraw it. So okay, so this box over here is going to bleed into the other boxes, right? And then I got this box. Totally above that. And then I got this box. Okay, so you can see that this box is higher than that, and then everything below it doesn't matter. Why? Because I got a 50, 200 pointing up, right? I'm looking for long, so I'm not saying, oh, that's, and then this is level 1 short. No, because I'm looking for longs anyway. I'm only level 2 long. So this won't matter if it's below it, as long as this one, these boxes are not below this low. Not below this low. Okay, so it doesn't really matter, right? This box bleeds into that box. So if I draw this box like this across, just like I did the other box, you'll notice that, right, a little bit of that is touching here, and none of these are touching because they're below it, but it doesn't really matter, right? This one is touching, this one is inside this box. But notice these two boxes are totally above this box. That means this is another level. Okay? And then you have another box up here. You have another box up here. All right? Okay. Well, it's kind of very slight, but if you notice, it's barely touching the bottom. So it could be this as your reset right in here. Right in here is your reset. All right? These two boxes sideways into a 1, 2, 3. So if you draw it correctly, which again I didn't do on this one, this side. Oops, sorry. What is that? Okay. I've got an eraser right here. Okay. So if you draw this box correctly, it should be like right there. Barely above it, so that would be considered another level coming into this move. So this box is likely above it like that. So you have 1, 2, 3, little reset. 1, see, this box should kind of line up with this box over here. 1, 2, 3. So if you're using the boxes, just make sure the boxes are like stacked on top of each other. Okay? Obviously, if it doesn't touch, that's easier to see. Sometimes they're literally just stacked on top of each other. Like this one is barely above this one. Okay, if I draw this out a little bit, it's just like, looks like it's touching the bottom of it, but it's not. It's just barely. Okay, so that's how you would use these boxes. I just figured I'd just show that to you guys because it's kind of cool. This is also another gold. Okay? Questions? All right, good. Thanks, Jeff. Carol, appreciate it. All right. Use the boxes if you get all confused, right? They've got stacked into each other. So this is the reset. This is the 1, 2, 3. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4 boxes stacked on top of each other. That's it. Okay? Awesome. All right. I'm going to end right now. Tomorrow morning we do have a pre-market. Looking forward to seeing you guys then. Thank you, Glenn. Appreciate it. Graham. Okay. David loves to use the boxes. Excellent. Clyde, appreciate it. All right, Connor. Ganesh, have a good night. Take care. Ciao.